podcast. Your boy Eli from the Geek Centurions with your good pals.
Oh, hi.
Kelvin's like,
Sorry,
I'm
I'm off. But yeah, what's up, y'all? I'm back, and we're back.
and we got our good buddy David, man. What's up, man?
What's up? How are you guys today?
Yeah, and it's a little different if you're watching the video wise because they renovated this room a bit.
So as you can tell, me and David, we're pretty comfortable here. Like, we're chilling. Eli's still got the chair, but.
I mean, I can just go.
Nah.
I'm good, brother.
I mean, yeah, you just tilled off the
good.
screen, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, right?
They can't tell that.
Man.
If you're listening to
Yeah,
it.
right.
Right. But no, so guys, it's been a while.
Yeah, it
And,
has. Our schedule is a little bit off, as y'all can tell.
Yeah.
We were gonna do a Halloween special episode, but I think just because of scheduling conflict with, not just between us, but also with this space as well, we actually couldn't. We weren't able to get the Halloween special in on time. So I mean, we'll try again next year, but yeah.
Because it would be weird to release an episode about Halloween on November, isn't that right, David?
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna, and then shit happened.
Yeah, but stuff always happens. You can't fight time. And
Yeah,
yeah. So I thought about a cool episode, especially because now this sort of thing is kind of like died down, so we can have ourselves an honest discussion about it. Is the whole Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola's talk about whether or not Marvel movies are cinema, and I think it's a really cool thing to talk about. Just our thoughts as fans. I'm a big fan of film. I love Scorsese stuff. I also love the Marvel movies, so I have a very interesting to say about that. But we're gonna have a little fun. What kind of superheroes could we see these guys direct?
I don't know.
Or just comics in general.
I don't know because I just watched. For me, compare you and I, Eli, we're on a completely different spectrums of just watching movies in general. You actually pay attention to like the cinema details. For me, I pay attention to characters, plot development, storyline, like just basic stuff, or if you will.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just knowing about Martin Scorsese and the type of person he is and the movies he's directed so far, based on what you told me, based on what.
Yeah, because you haven't seen these films, right?
Those ones you mentioned to me that other day when we talked in the car, I remember some of them, but like the more other ones, I don't know as well. Like I think something about it has something to do about Jesus Christ.
The Last Temptation of
Yeah,
Christ. David was like, I've seen that film.
I've seen Taxi Driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least one. We at least seen one Scorsese film.
Yeah.
Or at least one Coppola film.
Yeah. So
you see the Coppola film, right, David?
The
Godfather.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
His daughter is actually a director. She made The Big Gilded, which is
Really?
a movie that came out in I think it was nominated for an Oscar like 2 years ago.
Really? So she's a better director than she is an
Sofia
actress.
Coppola. She came out I think it was in the second or third Godfather. They
She
made
was
fun
the
of her
third
because
Godfather.
she was like
she was
terrible.
heavily criticized in that film, by the way.
She was like a terrible actress. She just like
Oh,
they shot her.
yeah.
She's just like so expressionless. Yeah, I remember.
It's
that.
like I was shocked. I fall down.
And I will now lay down
I
to sleep.
I will now pretend to. It's so bad because I think it was what's his name? What's the director? That's the guy who played he's the main lead in the Godfather films.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, yeah, he was the only one that actually looks like he actually tried.
That's literally probably the only thing I got from Godfather is Al Pacino, and I think that was it.
Wait, have you seen a Godfather?
No.
David, I want you to hold him down as I repeatedly beat the Godfather into him.
I mean, like I've seen scenes from the Godfather, but like obviously I just got to see the whole thing in general just to know, yeah.
But we cannot.
I know the pretense. I know the pretense
Look,
of the movie.
my boy.
Oh yeah.
I know the pretense of the movie. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Like I said earlier, we all have our own thoughts on these films.
Yeah, but going back to your thought earlier on, like what kind of movie that if Scorsese were to direct a superhero movie or just a hero superhero movie.
It's a difficult thing to think
I
about.
know it's because his movies are like
gritty, realistic.
It's more in the real life type scenario, and
there's a lot of like mental things going around.
Yeah. So I mean, what was interesting though, because one of the links you sent me was I saw the video. He was actually on the team for Joker before he pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on it.
With Todd Phillips.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember when I don't know, David, you still haven't seen Joker, right?
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're late now. I mean,
That's fine.
I mean,
My
I-
brother told me he's like, it's alright. But
It's
like,
alright.
Yeah.
but I did read I watched Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And it's
It's around that same feel.
Yeah, no, but if you watch it, like you don't really expect much about it, like through plot.
Yeah.
Like it's like visually, it's
Yeah.
like they say it's amazing because it shows you
Mhm.
how life was back in the 70s or the 60s because it just basically records. It's a taxi driver, it shows the life of
Yeah.
a taxi driver. It's Robert De Niro just driving around and you get to see people like in nightclubs and everybody going to like these like movie theaters where they used to show like porn. So that it just shows you how dramatically times have changed, right? So that's
Yeah.
what I like about Taxi Driver. Like I'm not gonna. It's not much of my cup of tea, but it's Martin Scorsese. He directed that movie.
He
Right?
directed that movie.
Yeah, he directed that movie. So like, I get what he's trying to show you. He's trying to show you like a bunch of things. You gotta watch the movie. You gotta go for the visuals of it, like the cinematography, most of them.
Oh yeah.
Not much of the story, I'd say, because I wasn't really that invested.
yeah.
honestly, but
So
I guess that's just the style.
It's an interesting film to go into, and I wouldn't say it's
So that's what I think about
Yeah.
the Joker. Right? I've not seen it yet, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess why my brother said it was kind of boring because it's more.
really,
like-
your brother said it was boring.
It was kind of boring. Yeah, that's what he said. I've not seen it.
No. But why? I'm curious as to why what's his thought on why the Joker was boring. I'm curious. I'm not gonna I'm not upset. I'm just I'm curious. I've never
we've seen the
heard.
film, so it's fine.
Yeah.
For us,
But,
you know.
But then which brings me to my next point. One of the film critics that are on YouTube
Yeah.
who mentioned it.
So
I think
will say this: we're kind of avoiding what he said.
yeah,
We're just talking about it straightforward, but we have to focus first on what he said,
right.
which is
Basically, he said Martin Scorsese said that the Marvel films genre is like an amusement park to it. It's not true cinema.
It's not true cinema. It
Yeah.
doesn't convey the idea of human interaction, human emotion, human interactions,
Mm-hmm.
and hearing that's kind of weird for
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, because
I mean, David, I know you've seen most of the Marvel films, right?
I think no.
You've seen all of them.
yeah,
He's a dedicated fan.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
So-
seen all?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
We're come on, guys. I have fucking the trades here from Marvel because we're talking about Marvel. I brought some DC ones, but
Yeah.
he said something about Marvel, not DC.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
but even in general, like the superhero genre, and then what's really interesting, that other comment he says, "Oh, I don't." That first comment he says, "I don't see them,"
Yeah.
and that got me. It was like, okay, well, you're saying that these movies are an amusement to you and or whatnot, and they're not real, they're not like all this,
Yeah.
but then you haven't if you've seen a few of them, which is kind of piggybacking off the one of the videos, but and I agree with that kind of point of view. If you've seen a movie and you saying it sucks, it's horrible, it's bland, whatever, if you've seen it, by all means, that's your opinion. But if you haven't seen it and you have an opinion on it,
Mhm.
that's like why? It's it's like commenting on a particular destination or whatever, or location,
So
right?
it's
And you're
not
saying it's not as fun,
Yeah.
but then you've never been to that location. So how can you say how can your
it's
opinion
having
be
the
validated?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what I was gonna say is that these films aren't for them.
exactly.
Yeah. So which
The second part of the video he mentions, if he's actually gone to the movies, he's actually seen it,
Yeah.
and then he says, oh, it's trash, it's horrible.
for all we know,
By
he probably
all
said-
means, by all means, that opinion is validated. That's
Yeah.
okay. But that first line in his commentary about the movies, about the
the Marvel.
Marvel's franchise,
Yeah.
is he says I don't see them, but that could be interpreted in many ways that I don't like. He doesn't see them as real cinema, or he just hasn't seen them in general, or like a little bit of both.
Like or he's seen it like some and like it doesn't make sense to him.
Yeah.
Like first of all, I think we're all agreeing that he has valid. Personally, for me, I feel like he has some valid points.
Yeah.
But if he can't say if you can't take his words to fiction.
Exactly.
Because like we said, we've all seen the Marvel films. We know that this long, complicated story And so when we see things happen, we have that emotional connection.
Exactly. That's our for
Yeah.
the Marvel fans. That's our connection
Yeah.
to the characters, to the story, and then like those characters develop further with
Yeah.
each new movie that comes out.
Like each one is basically standalone by themselves, but like
When-
watching them all as one, you get the story
when they come together, yeah.
It's narrative. It's a long telling narrative with a very long middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like with film. That's what kind of because the thing about Marvel films, they have a beginning and an end and a very long middle. And usually films like Scorsese's films, they have a beginning, middle, and end. They don't have a very
they have a resolution like everything. It's like it's a whole.
it's all tightly wrapped in 2 hours, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Marvel films, each one is the same thing, but like then the thing is you having this sort of big like beginning with Iron Man 1 and then ending it at Endgame or Spider or Far From Home, whatever you want to choose where that ends. And but like it's a long journey that you follow these characters with, so it doesn't really end with that one film. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say that most of the Marvel movies have like an actual ending. For example, Captain Marvel, I just didn't think it really had any resolution.
Yeah.
Why? Because it was supposed to lead to Endgame.
Yeah.
So like.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
oh man.
Yeah.
I got something to say about Captain Marvel. I'm a fan. I did not like what he did in the film.
I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel. Why? Because like I feel like she's like a, what they call it, like a Deus Ex Machina. Like when you introduce her like in a story, she's here to save everybody. But like, why would you have such a strong character?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the movie did not do her character justice.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Why?
She should have had more. Not so much spotlight time, so to speak, but like a little bit more character development.
Yeah.
I mean, it was there in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. Like whenever she finds out who she really is as a person, like she was actually from her. There were moments when it's there, but it's like towards the end, and then it's like, oh, that's it. I'm like, wait, what?
It was half.
Who knows? Scorsese probably saw Captain Marvel, and it didn't work for him.
Like,
yeah, and then like with that kind of movie, it's like, okay, you're starting at a point. If you were, for him, if like you said, if he did see Captain Marvel, he started somewhere, essentially close to the end.
Yeah.
Not from the very beginning, which is Iron Man 1, which is the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
That Iron Man.
Don't get me wrong. There's some Marvel films that like stand by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, alone. You don't have to watch all the other ones just to.
That's true.
Yeah. Like
that's true.
You know what's another those movies? I think it's Black Panther. Black Panther didn't have a direct tie into the following.
Exactly.
Movie.
And you can like say whatever you
I feel like Black Panther was just like that kind of movie to where it appealed to the
certain demographic.
The demographics similar to probably I feel like how maybe Shang-Chi is gonna appeal as well.
Yeah.
Just because and again, we if y'all saw in our previous episodes, we talked about Phase 4 coming out. Shang-Chi was one of was within Phase 4.
Yeah,
it's gonna appeal to that same demographic. I was super excited, but then like the realistic side coming into fruition is that yes, it's gonna be good, but yes, it's gonna be good. Yes, it's gonna be a good standalone, but at the same time, it's appealing to the demographic, not tying into what is canon for the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing when I'm saying about Scorsese. Like he makes some valid points. Like these films aren't shot the way he would shoot them.
It's a fair critic, but at the same time, it's like,
these films aren't for you, man. They're for a certain demographic.
Exactly.
I remember one of the videos I sent you was one with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Who like he kind of gets what he's saying.
He agrees with what Scorsese says, and
but then he gives like this sort of emotional moment where talk about how the Marvel film sort of bring him back to a moment in time that he had with his father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was his human connection because I'm like I know was it I don't know that much, like I used to hear the name like Kevin Smith like all the time, like especially in the past.
He's like the big nerd guy.
Yeah, like in the past all the time. But that's what I got from Kevin Smith. I knew him as Silent Bob, but
not so silent.
Yeah, I know, right? But again, that's probably the one thing that Scorsese didn't see with other Marvel fans that like Kevin Smith that was able to form that human connection with In this case, his dad.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and that's what his says. Now, what? Let me ask you guys this: what are you guys' thoughts on, say, Coppola's comments?
Coppola's.
Yeah,
Um.
that they're despicable.
Okay, so that like Coppola's was a little bit more harsh than usual.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, because like with
I,
Scorsese,
I saw, like with Scorsese, he fairly criticized him, but then he had his own like
opinions of it.
opinions as well as he talks from experience.
Yeah,
Coppola's was just pure just hate. I'm sorry, that was just pure hate.
yeah. You
Like it was despicable. They say the films were despicable. It was like I saw even it was like bland or it's like that it was just like what Marvel movie did you watch that
Heck, he probably even seen them. He's probably just one of those guys who just hates them because like there's this whole thing right now.
or maybe he even hates like the superhero genre or
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's this hate right now. And
I feel like it's more jealousy.
What do you think, David?
I feel like it's jealousy.
Well, I have here some like words that
Coppola's?
Coppola says.
Yeah.
Coppola he basically says that like he just doesn't like the idea of franchises.
Yeah.
The notion that that you have to keep on repeating the same thing for a movie for financial gain. It just doesn't.
I
It feels
mean,
redundant.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean Harry Potter, Star Wars.
Well, we're
I know we're not going like in there, but
Well, no,
essentially
what I'm saying is that we're in an era where franchises are big.
it's big. Yeah, exactly.
Because like people, like I said earlier, people like that long middle of a story, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but
That went on forever, and we were invested as hell.
And then the ending.
And we don't talk about that anymore.
yeah,
Unless you want David to kill you.
like Francis Coppola's argument is like he invests like a bunch of money like he likes the risk factor when he wants to make a movie he likes to go full like throttle.
Dude,
Like, he doesn't,
Apocalypse Now. That is like, so have you never seen Apocalypse Now? It's a good movie. But the
Apocalypse Now. What is
Apocalypse, it's like a Vietnam movie.
What is it so familiar?
Just it's a Vietnam movie.
No, I know, but like it's just like
It's so you ever seen that image of like the 3 helicopters in the sun?
okay,
It's
yeah.
that, yeah.
But what's the pretense of that movie though?
So essentially, it's it's been a while since I've seen the film. Hold on, let me look it up. But basically, it's like one of the most well-known
Apocalypse Now.
yeah, it's a war film.
I've heard of it.
That name sounds
haven't seen
really
it.
familiar because the notable films in like
Okay,
Vietnam War
so-
era was
1979.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, it's from
That's the only one I can remember just
Saving
because
Private
of
Ryan?
Charlie Scott Ryan.
that was World War II. No, but essentially, it's
Vietnam 1970. I thought the
What when was the movie
it's
made?
it was in 1979.
Really?
Yeah,
This is made just literally 10 years after. Okay.
yeah. So, no,
Um,
it's like basically people go crazy in Vietnam.
Oh.
It's one of the development of that film is so well known because it was development.
Is it? Because I remember this one scene. I don't know if it was from Full Metal or from like maybe I just saw
Okay,
it. in
just say the
Apocalypse
film
Now.
because I've seen Full Metal.
Okay. No, because the notable scenes is essentially obviously the drill sergeant basically treating.
Yeah, just say the scene. Don't tell me. I've seen the movie.
Okay. No. It was a scene. It was a scene when the soldiers there. I think they were going through like this like broken building and
That's
they
Full Metal Panic.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's
what
the
I
anime. Full Metal Panic's the anime.
Full Metal Jacket.
No, that's Full Metal Jacket because that's where they go in.
They go in the building. They find a kid.
Yeah, that's their kid.
The
That's
kid,
Full, that's
and then-
Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
No, but the
Wait, was it okay? There was another scene. Okay, tell me if you know this one. They're going through the village and they were basically like they were going through the village looking for NDA spies, and then there's this little girl who was crying because her grandmother because she was saying ba, which is like grandma.
okay.
she got
First
shot.
of all, yes, I think that is a scene. But we're diverging away from the conversation.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But no, watch the movie. It's good.
Yeah.
But no, the development for that one is basically well known. It's like, goddamn, what's his name? Not Marlon Brando was known for being
go down.
super goddamn crazy.
There, go down. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
There's Martin Sheen, Robert Duvall, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I'm talking about Marlon Brando though.
Okay.
The Godfather himself. Yeah, he was crazy.
I'm just like
Yeah, you can't do that with that.
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. But No,
My cousin calls me the Godfather. He's like, Cipriano. He grabs my hand. I'm like, I was just like,
Wait, did this happen?
Yeah.
When?
Like,
it's family stuff.
Oh, they grab your hand and say, we did it because that last name, that's not,
This guy asked me if
is
I
that
was
a
Sicilian. Yeah.
yeah.
We are diverging very far
Hey,
from this.
It's fine.
Calvin, stop.
It's fine.
No,
it's
but going back,
not.
going back to the thing you were telling,
Yeah.
like the question, like Francis Coppola's comments. Well, he did make it like kind of like a trilogy, with The Godfather.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, he just says that he doesn't like franchises. Why? Because it's like he says that the risk factor is supposed to make a movie good because you're going off like there's so much
Really?
risk in it, like the story. It's an element that makes movies sometimes great.
But then at the same time, there has been franchises that have
Well,
been
the
obviously
question,
successful.
the question isn't franchises, the way films are made.
What's up?
That's what he's saying, right? The way films are made, right?
He
Like
just
the risk factor is what helps make the film so good, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Deadline, for example, asked him, Francis, what are your feelings about superhero films? He says he doesn't like the idea of franchises. The notion that you keep repeating what is essentially the same movie for financial gain. It basically says that.
Yeah.
I feel that he says I feel that approach is taken to reduce the economic risk of movies, and I feel the risk factor is an element that makes movies sometimes be great, and the formulaic film draws more available resources to them, leaving little or more daring productions, reducing diversity. Diversity,
Yeah.
that's key,
Yeah.
right? Because you have Black Panther,
Yeah.
right? This movie, they were gonna make it with I think Wesley Snipes, like back in the '90s,
Yeah.
but they just never released it. Why? Because they didn't think nobody was gonna watch that movie because white people. But
Yeah.
look at Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that's the big market.
It's basically gonna be it's gonna be an all
Well,
Asian.
maybe not now.
It's gonna be an all. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like
that's a risky investment.
Yeah.
I
feel-
make it diversity.
Yeah, and especially now with those kind of movies that are coming out, and especially with what a lot of people don't realize also is a lot of politics fall into that as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot more serious than one may think. There's this one movie. I don't know. I'm sure if you heard of it. It's called Abominable. It's
Yeah, I heard
basically
of it.
So in Vietnam, they actually boycotted the movie. Reason B is because the opening scene in the movie, they're showing a map of Asia, right?
Yeah.
Vietnam's not there on the map.
Really?
It's not there. It's not real. Like a lot of people say,
I thought it was a different film. But
right. No. I know. It's just like they're diverging away from it. But again, it's the politics.
No, but this works.
Yeah, but the politics diverged into that to where Vietnam basically they boycotted the movie because they're saying, oh, China has that entire region to themselves, and China owns Vietnam, which there is that whole China and Vietnam conflict going on right now.
Does Vietnam mean not China?
What's up?
What is the word Vietnam? I think I heard about it.
Wait, what does the word Vietnam mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just like because Vietnam is just the country, but then like to the people living there, it's it's their way of life, it's their identity, and especially like whenever news of whenever news of sorry whenever news of basically China going into the essentially the Vietnam waters, and China is claiming that territory as their own. Vietnam's like, no, that's our territory. We've been here for this long. We've been here for a long time. We're not going to go through this again, because they did fight in like the 1500s where China did try to conquer Vietnam.
Yeah.
But again, diverging away from the
No, but this
the
I was gonna
history
say
lesson.
like this is one of the
It
reasons.
stems from diversity.
Yeah, Marlon Brando was saying this is like one of the big reasons why Marlon Brando Coppola had a like issue with developing Apocalypse Now, because they filmed it all in Vietnam. They had problems now dealing with like nature itself.
It was probably a controversial issue at the time too,
That
because
stems to the word risk.
yeah.
But see, here's the thing. Marvel, at first, that was a risk.
It was a risk.
It was, yeah.
Because like there's this famous story about them making Iron Man, which like we have to convince the audience that Iron Man is a dude inside an iron suit and not a robot.
Yeah.
Because no one knew Iron Man. Like now we know Iron Man.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Iron Man, he was a C-list at best.
Yeah. Hero wise, yeah.
See, like,
in the comics.
no, not just just comics, yeah. But I'm saying like people who knew Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like before the movies, have you guys ever heard of Iron Man?
No.
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 I knew him because of the cartoons.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America. Well, that's obvious. Captain America. We're in America. We know the name Captain America.
Yeah.
We know Superman. We know Batman.
Yeah.
We know Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Like
Sam Raimi movies.
Sam Raimi's. Oh my god.
The third one is like not bad. but
It's not bad, but you know.
The emo Spider-Man.
emo Spider-Man. Yeah,
Hey man, I'll do the dance every
Nah,
day.
nah, nah, nah. Wait, that meme with it's
Joker.
No, yeah, Joker doing this, Peter Parker Peter Parker doing this, and Anakin Skywalker. It was a deleted scene, but basically he's doing this with his lightsaber or with a pole,
Oh no,
and then he's doing
from the
this,
movie,
and
Star Wars.
it's hating Christianity doing
Hating Christians.
this.
Yeah.
He's doing this.
Yeah. No,
And in
but
one picture, I'm like, oh my god.
So like the it's a risk factor because you're trying to introduce characters that people have never heard about.
Yeah,
I've never heard about Guardians of the Galaxy until the movie came out.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, no one knows him.
Yeah.
It's not much about because what I'm trying to say here is that like Marvel movies, Marvel like comic book movies, in a way they were niche, right?
Yeah.
Until like you had like really bad productions prior to the '90s until the X-Men came out. That's when a lot of people started watching superhero movies, and that's when Sam Raimi released his own superhero movies.
Yeah.
So this like the development of like superhero movies in general, the genre, it had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But thanks to the X-Men and thanks to Sam Raimi, that's when people started.
And then the introduction of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, but it's not only about the superhero movies though. Like because you can release as many superhero movies as you want, but not a lot of people are gonna watch them. Why? Because not a lot of people are fans of superhero movies. Which I understand why Martin Scorsese would be like, oh yeah, that's not my particular cup of tea.
Yeah.
But where like Coppola talks about risk, that's when you got to be like, okay, well, how can I tell people to watch my product or see my movie or whatever? Is if you introduce like more diversity. Why? Because people can reflect to that.
Yeah.
Like Black Panther, that was a risky movie that never came out with Wesley Snipes, but today it did. And they just had to do its own thing. It didn't lead to another movie. It didn't lead like it's just.
Well, for one, you were already introduced to him in Civil War, and when you got to his film,
Age of Ultron. That's when they introduced Wakanda. They talked about it.
Yeah,
but still, like it was like its own movie because it was like it was supposed to be that, right?
Yeah.
So like again, those types of movies that they don't have to follow up to anything, I think they're good because it kind of has closure to it.
Yeah.
And like again, it's more risky, like Coppola said, right? You take away the financial risk. No, you gain more financial risk, therefore you go and you dare to make more risky.
Now I will say there is like a
decisions.
Yeah. Well, I will say that there is a thing where like now Marvel is a brand that we can't like ignore.
Oh yeah, no, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Like, but like when you hear, oh, this is the next Marvel movie. They haven't done anything wrong yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a bad film yet. They're mostly enjoyable.
They haven't flopped yet. But
I mean, like everyone has their like, I don't like this one.
But okay, out of like one bad movie or a few maybe movies that you didn't enjoy, compared to all the other movies that were like
they're passable.
Yeah. That were good.
The worst one is still passable.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, Thor: The Dark World was probably the worst.
But it still passed with like barely a C.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh here and there, but it was like, that was alright.
It's like a solid C.
Yeah, it's a solid C.
I think for me the best movie that I've seen from Marvel, like I'm not gonna say honestly, like Endgame for me wasn't like the top.
No,
but
it was a good final episode.
It was good, yeah. It was a good ending, but for me, Infinity War was wow because there was so much at stake. Everything was just there, and that movie.
And you forget that Thanos has a little Deus Ex Machina walking around with him.
Yeah, the thing, right? The snap.
Yeah.
The snap.
And then
I love that.
For me, actually, my top tier Marvel films, I would say, would also be, but it's actually tied for first. Would be Infinity Wars. I'm sorry, that scene when Thor came in with Stormbringer. Oh my god! Bring me down, Quata! That, and then also.
To be fair, the hammer scene with Mjolnir scene with Cap was kind of like, damn it, you gotta beat that scene.
And this is gonna be a surprise for y'all, but Captain America: First Avenger. Just because I love that underdog story. Basically,
not to mention like it's a good connection to how he was in the
exactly
in the 1920s where they would sell his books for bonds.
Yeah,
and he's all like, go get those bonds. Like during like the whole dance, like the sequence where
they were telling the American people to buy bonds. Why? Because the government needed money to fund the war.
Exactly. And that's how he started off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a story. For me, it's Civil War and Winter Soldier. Yeah, because those are like, those are just good stories.
Yeah,
they're good stories overall. But like yeah, overall the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like I said, most of these like movies, they're just they don't have like a conclusion
Yeah.
because they always lead and lead and lead. So like for me, the standout movies for me was like Black Panther, Infinity War. I would like call it like its own movie. Why?
Yeah.
Because it had an end, dude. Everybody died.
Shit.
You felt a weight to it.
I felt a weight to it. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell? I've never
Yeah,
seen
bro.
this before, so I love that movie.
It was the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back of this generation.
Yeah, I watched the first one.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. I didn't watch the last movie.
The Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep on saying. Hey,
Or was it Return of the Jedi? I don't know. Which it has a Jedi in it, but no.
Return of the Jedi?
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
Last Jedi.
But no, like, this is what I'm saying. Coppola, his statements make sense. Scorsese, his statements make sense. But, like, look at us talking about this right now. We clearly had a human emotion to it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not wrong. I think that they themselves have, like, an idea of what film is. They're not wrong with that. Because the way I see it, Coppola and Scorsese are like, they're like not the Andy Warhol, but like the grand masters of art, like Da Vinci, Michelangelo. Like you look at those and like, wow, that is art. And then we get like to the comic book films where they're literally like comic book art. Like I'm saying like art. Like there's the masters, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael.
Jack Kirby.
Yeah, Jack Kirby. If you see his work, and like if you compare like Michelangelo to Jack Kirby, you'll probably see more of Michelangelo as the art.
So what you're trying to say here is that like it's okay. So Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's not like Coppola and I'd say Coppola, right? Or
Coppola.
Scorsese. They're like these movies they're just not good because what he did say like it just doesn't capture like it doesn't have like a psychological effect to the viewer because it just don't like empathize with like the characters. But what you're trying to say is that like that doesn't justify why. That's not like a good reason to say okay Marvel movies are not cinema, right? Because of the artwork,
well, I'm saying like compare it to art.
But I mean, Jack Kirby, like nonetheless, like all of the Thor Ragnarok movie, everything. Taika Waititi, everything was like.
Oh yeah, that was heavily inspired by Jack Kirby's art. Yeah.
Because Jack Kirby was behind like a bunch of like good stories from Marvel. So like again,
he drew most of those stories. Yeah.
Yeah, but another point that I just want to talk about is that like maybe I'm not gonna say that he's wrong, but like if you think about it, like when will you ever see like people that are very very like into comics? They're like, why would you say such a thing about Marvel or comic books overall that they don't capture or they don't have like a really good story to tell that for people not to empathize with, right? They're definitely there, but it's just the problem here that most of these like movies that you see with Marvel, they just have to be like fixed up and they're kind of like they're sort of like readapted. But like if I were to like for example read I don't know what's a good comic book story that you've been watching like the Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
That's like it just takes place. It just like it's like it simmers like it's like it builds over time, right? And people like watch that and people like feel bad for these characters, right? Because there's like so much.
Yeah, and they try to do that with the movie, but it was more.
It was trash.
It was trash. It was rushed. Because like the one thing that you should do when you're doing Phoenix Saga is establish the relationship with Jean and Scott.
Yeah.
Because that's the moment Scott loses Jean.
Yeah.
And if you want to have that emotional connection, you gotta build it up.
Yeah, you have to build that effect. Like the people are gonna feel that. Like when I watched Infinity War, I was like fucking crying when Spider-Man died. Why? Because I feel bad.
Because you got established.
Yeah, because he has this relationship with Robert Downey Jr. right?
Yeah.
Iron Man. So people feel bad. People are crying in the movie theater. Why? Because you feel that loss, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
you can't deny there is human connection.
Yeah, and then literally one by one, when like these beloved characters they basically disappear, like they're not. You think that they're dead, but later we find out. But like, again, that initial moment when you first see it,
we all knew they were gonna come back.
Yeah, we all knew they're gonna come back, but then that initial moment when they're all disappearing one by one, your favorite characters are.
And then the moment they all come back, it's a term that was used by Tolkien. It's Tolkien, the guy who made Lord of the Rings. It's called the Euclidarianism. Basically, like the one moment, bad, terrible moment happens, then automatically there has to be one big, like, hopeful moment.
Yeah.
We got the snap, everyone goes away. We got the other snap that brought everyone back.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it. But what I was saying about art is that you don't see, well, I don't know about now, because like you don't see like art made by Jack Kirby. You probably do. I'm just probably like the example I'm going with. You don't see art by Jack Kirby in museums. You see stuff like Pollock, Michelangelo, and all these stuff because that's an audience that is art. But to someone but for others, the artwork of Jack Kirby, Alex Ross, um, Jorge. I was saying Jorge Ramos. That probably is wrong name.
Basically because it's
Yeah.
just like a different type of medium.
It's a
Like,
medium, yeah, exactly.
Like
It's a genre.
It's a genre. It really is. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and tell you, hey, manga is not art. It definitely is, but not for me, right? Because it's just not my cup of tea.
Exactly.
Right. But like I don't know. I guess like I feel like maybe like now at this point in time, like we're having like who would read comics? Who would like? It was just like a small
Exactly.
market, right?
They're always trying to make them get back into get people to reading the comics, but like you always have that fear, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier, like the fear of like this long ass story that people are like, when is this gonna end so I can finally read it? I'm like, well, technically there is no end.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
talked about
There
that.
is no end.
The last podcast we talked about it, right? Like for me, for example, it was kind of hard for me to get into comics because I'm just like, I mean, if I do commit, Disney, for example, like Marvel comics, well, Disney's already owned by, like Marvel's already owned by Disney.
I didn't remember that.
Sorry,
True.
or
Yeah.
worse. Yeah, but like again, it's really hard for people to kind of like commit because sometimes they just kind of like they just close out like these great storylines. So I guess that's what they're faulting. You see, Disney versus Marvel. What I see is that these DC comics are doing really good with their comic books, and their animated series, but they're just not doing good in movies.
Yeah.
But
Well,
nowadays, and now look at Disney. They're good. They're doing good in their movies, but they're not doing good at comics. So both of them, they do have competitive advantage. Why? Because DC focuses more on comics, and Marvel focuses more on movies because that's.
Well, technically, right now, Marvel's comics are really good. Like Jesus Christ, that X-Men book was so good.
Oh yeah, no,
they're
in the works.
X-Men number one.
Yeah.
The one we picked up from Bedrock.
Powers of X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powers of House of X. That was like that was some good writing.
I was reading as well. I was reading maybe I got there like halfway. I'm like, oh man, this shit just got real. I'm like, damn.
Oh, my heart.
I gotta read the trade.
I know.
Yeah.
Like
you like I don't want to spend any time. I want the book.
Exactly, right? Because I don't want to like buy like 3
And I think that's
issues
what-
and next thing you
yeah.
know, boom, they're canceled.
And that goes to Coppola's talk. Like he doesn't want to see like these long stories. Like this basically the story that people have to watch every time. That's basically all wish wash and repeat. Like you know. And I get what he's saying, but like if you actually like sit down and watch, they're not all the same. Because like all the movies, they're not like there's an origin story, but because like everyone has an origin story.
yeah.
Every director has their own little say. Like Thor 1 is not the same as Thor 3.
Mm-mm.
And Love and Thunder is gonna come out.
Oh, Love and Thunder.
Captain America First Avenger is not the same as
Winter Soldier.
Winter
Oh,
Soldier.
man,
Yeah.
Winter Soldier. That's like one of my favorite movies.
That's an actual film.
Winter Soldier took.
Yeah.
It was that one, like you said, like we all been saying so far. It's that risk factor that they took. Is essentially bringing back a character that was presumed dead and is now back.
No, not that's not the risk that was. The risk was to take Captain America serious.
Yeah, because his first movie don't. Not a lot of people enjoyed it.
Well, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Like it was a good. There's no one really like, oh, it's Captain America.
Yeah,
and then Avengers came in with he was okay, but like his costume was the thing. I was like,
that
costume was like bad.
A lot of people like again and because
the Captain America costume that was like super super tight,
super cheesy.
Like Endgame was like, that's America's ass.
I was America's ass.
No, but like one of the costumes, like I feel like I actually started paying attention more to costume details just because I'm a cosplayer, so I pay attention a little bit more now these days to the costume design and whatnot. And for Captain America, a lot of people will have different opinions on this, but honestly, that World War II. That World War II was that World War II look that was me, and also that was actually one of my inspirations for me to do Captain Vietnam. So I got inspiration from that to do that because I really enjoyed like the leather jacket, the whole like weathered down like belts, the buckles, the little pouches.
They made him look cool.
Yeah,
the story was a little cheesy.
And without the helmet, I mean, even without the helmet, like with or without the helmet.
Where did he get it? I think it was in the second Captain America, right?
Which one?
When he goes back to the museum.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah.
That looked good. Yeah.
That one was.
Because like that's when you and like that like you can't like Coppola says there's no risk factor, but there is a risk factor because you have to introduce this character
Yeah.
to an audience that's never heard of them. Because like Guardians of the Galaxy, that was the biggest risk factor because no one ever heard of them.
Yeah.
Heard of them. Heck, that lineup in Guardians isn't the original lineup.
Oh, yeah.
I figured it wasn't. Yeah.
Didn't they tease the original lineup? I think it was like the first one or the second.
Was
The second one teased.
Was it supposed to be someone else who was supposed to play Drax?
No. Drax is first of all like that's not what I mean.
Oh, okay.
I mean like
because you said lineup as in like
not the actors.
original-
the characters. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because like no one, I've never heard of the like I said earlier, I've never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Star Lord, Rocket.
Even then,
yeah.
like they were not like they were in the comics or in the TV show. But
Yeah.
at first it was introduced to them. But like, is there a risk factor? Is it cinema? Is like Scorsese's statements on cinema? I feel like it depends on who you consider it to be cinema. Because like Scorsese, Coppola, they have their ways of filming stuff. They usually like, okay, is this angle right? Is the lights on the right way? Okay,
That's their style.
yeah, that's their style.
Yeah.
The Marvel films have their own style. It's not that they're not cinema, but like, yeah,
But you see, for me,
yeah,
the Marvel style, like I've seen like a video essence and everything because I'm a big music fan. I
Yeah.
love classical music. I love like why? Because classical music, like when you do like a composition for film,
yeah,
like for me, like the film could be bad, but I just don't want the music to be bad as well. I want the music to be good because it really captivates like the emotion of like film. Like for example, like I watched a video essay and like the style for all Marvel movies, it's almost the same. Even like with the colors. Have you noticed that like Civil War, like most of the colors are kind of dulled out?
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to like these are superhero movies. You're supposed to make sure like these are like vibrant clothing, like their outfits are like they shine and like superpowers like these are all like badass. They're colorful. They didn't start taking that risk until Thor Ragnarok.
exactly.
Did you not see how Jack Kirby, like he's very creative, he's very colorful.
Like if you notice, like in
Hela, her costume, like everybody's
Yeah.
like everything's like fireworks.
yeah, because like after I think it was at some point they started letting directors do their thing with the film.
Yeah.
Like hey, just follow my story, and we're good.
Yeah, but that all goes back to Disney executives because they have this certain formula, and that's where I feel like they were kind of lacking. And for me, like the soundtracks for all the superhero movies, like they weren't that captivating until I think it was I think for me Thor Ragnarok, like the soundtrack is badass, and like Infinity War and Endgame. Why? Because they have like these themes you already hear the same over and over again. Like
They drilled it into because I'm thinking of the Avengers theme.
And then the Avengers theme song.
And they built that into it, and
Yeah.
each one had its own little theme.
Yeah.
There's an artistic sense to it.
It does because all the superhero movies that you see, like in the movies, they all have their own theme, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're so subtle. But obviously, when you go and watch like a superhero movie, you already know when the theme of Avengers come out. Like, oh yeah, I already know what that is. But like overall music, like it wasn't really as risky. Like, I think they only had like a couple of like composers for the Captain for the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But that was because again, like they had their own like style, like like their creative voice.
Yeah.
And music wise, right? But it wasn't until they're like, you know what, we're gonna be taking more risks.
Yeah.
And they started they also hired like the first female composer for Captain Marvel. I follow her on Instagram because she does I think she did like
I will say that aside from like the '90s soundtracks, the actual music,
like the synth wave for Thor.
that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. So like
Heck, Black Panther won musical score.
I love that fucking soundtrack, dude. You gotta read like listen to it when you start it.
Yeah.
When
I
M'Baku comes in with his like,
yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. I know, yeah. Ma fa ho ma fa ho. Like, that was like, oh my, you know what's funny? Okay,
that's
so
a badass.
a little bit off tangent, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have a M'Baku Funko Pop, right?
Mhm.
But the story of how I got it, so I got it for my birthday
Yeah.
from my girlfriend, and she got it for me. I'm like, oh, cool, it's a M'Baku Funko Pop. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what? Babe, what's wrong? I'm like, that's not Black Panther. I'm like, oh, babe.
Good thing we don't.
No, because
I'm not going there.
it was a really cute it was a really like and I mean this with such sincerity, an adorable moment because her and I we've watched like a good amount of Marvel movies now.
Yeah.
and she knows who these characters are. But sometimes, because there's so much characters for her,
Yeah.
she doesn't grasp the characters as well. She'll
Yeah,
get
no.
confused about who the characters are. So whenever like she said,
Yeah.
wait, and it was whenever she got it for me, she's like, wait, that's not Black Panther. It was in front of like all my other friends and family who were there at the party too. So they're like, oh, I'm like,
So it was
oh,
like, sweetie, that's not Black Panther.
honey, that's not Black Panther. But I mean,
honey.
I'm
I
like,
love you.
I still love you, babe. But it's like, oh man, it's like, you tried your best.
You tried your
You
best.
tried. I know it's not Black Panther, but it's like he's from Black Panther, but it's not Black Panther.
No, but
But yeah.
honestly, like that's when they started taking risks, and the Black Panther movie, with
Yeah.
the soundtrack, dude, that's the most badass soundtrack that I've heard in my life. That
Yeah.
one, and I think it was Infinity War. Why? Because they convey emotion. Like Black Panther, it's African. Like the music, it's like the composer. I think he just kind of like he had together.
I think my laptop sent those sound waves.
Yeah, I was like, what those sound waves for? I was like,
I need to charge this thing.
oh,
Yeah, but we're fine.
okay. No, but again, it really like Black Panther has its moments,
Yeah.
but then there's that risk, there's what's it called? Risk factor. Yeah, risk factors that go into it, and then the diversity, the demographics. There's a whole lot of factors that ties into those kind of
Especially
movies.
because Africa is a continent. It's
Yeah.
not a country.
A lot of people are
so
still stupid
many
enough to think
regions.
that Africa is a country, and I'm like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah.
And then but then
I go what he's saying. What
Yeah.
he's saying now.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like risk wise, Black Panther, it was gonna be like a hard movie to make. Why? Because like I said, Africa is a continent. It's
You
not
need to
a
make sure
country.
you capture a lot of culture in there.
You have to capture, and that's when like I think I was watching like a bunch of like I think like movies, like it wasn't like videos, but like how people they went into the costume design. Why? Because they actually had to like like represent like a bunch of cultures, like a bunch of like
they do
yeah.
research, yeah.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
the research. Like
There's
it's
a
around
research
the
that went
lines.
into it.
I find out there's each tribe has their own little patterns that are inspired by different cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
And they're from different countries, right?
Yep. I guess that's our sign.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a knock knock. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
just to like wrap up.
quick wrap up. Yeah.
So
It's fit. So
Yeah.
so quick wrap up on that with Scorsese. It's fair. It's a pretty tough but fair
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
What's that other thing?
Coppola.
Coppola. That was just again, in my opinion, that was just jealousy.
I don't say
Okay.
jealousy.
I would say jealousy because it did sound like hate. It's just so hateful at first,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it's just for him. It's
Well, I was
just,
gonna say like more for him. It's that he has his opinions, but like it's just he just in a grumpy old man at this point. Like, he hasn't made a good movie since
yeah.
his last. I think the last movie I think of is called Jack with the guy who played Genie in the animated film.
Who?
Genie.
Oh, Robin Williams.
Yeah, and it wasn't received well.
Oh.
The risk.
That's
That's
yeah,
that's his
But the
thing.
risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more thing. If you could think of a character that they could do, it doesn't have to be like superhero. What comic book would you see?
Oh yeah, we never get to answer the
Yeah, 'cause,
question.
like I was trying to get that, but we can't
Wait.
get the thing.
Like their style wise, I think I remember reading an article about DC. I think they
Yeah.
were gonna have like I don't know, he's like a very famous director. It wasn't Scorsese, it wasn't I think it was like who directed Terminator? John Wick?
Oh,
No.
what's his name? James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Cameron.
He wants to make a DC movie, but he only wants to like go into like back into like the 1940s because there's like a group of like I don't know, like pilots or something. They have,
Oh,
like,
the Black Hawks.
the Black Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think like Martin Scorsese or this guy Coppola.
Yeah.
Coppola, they can go for it. Again, you just have to go and like grab like a good storyline
Yeah.
that could actually they can do. And I think anybody can make a Marvel movie.
One-
You just gotta pick
Yeah,
which
I
one they
guess my picks for those like movies that they would direct are essentially whether hero or villain, probably either Carnage.
No,
Not
not Carnage.
I mean,
that's too. That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It's you need Spider-Man for that, and you can't just.
that's
do
true.
friends.
Oh, actually, my second
Noah Hawley,
my
Dr.
second choice was
Huh?
actually
Okay, you can do Doctor Doom. I can do that.
second choice would be Spawn.
God no.
They're making a Spawn movie.
No, I know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but no, God no. Anything but that.
I mean,
you've never read Spawn, I can tell.
I mean, I know. That's my choice.
So
yeah.
for me, just to wrap it up real quick,
Yeah.
I say Moon Knight because there's a lot of mental stuff going around in his head, and so he's got and he's also a big. He's basically Batman with a lot of mental issues.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Legion.
But yeah, guys. But you guys been hearing the knocks, so that means we gotta go.
Yeah,
we gotta wrap it up. But yeah,
I'm
thanks for
ready to
tuning in, guys. Check us out on all of our social medias: Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
We're also on the the podcast sites, Spotify,
Castbox,
iTunes, Pandora.
Yeah.
Check us out there, and then if you're on iTunes, give us that 5 stars, and of course support us on Patreon, because this shit costs money.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's your boy Kelvin.
It's boy Eli.
We're signing off. We'll take care. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace out.